Chick, chick, chickies. Come on out. No eggs. All right, ladies. All right, ladies. All right. So for a long time, I've been wanting to change the profile image or the headshot, whatever you want to call it, the logo for the channel, because I just don't really care for it. I want to make my channel more personal to me, so I want to change it to like a really cool, epic looking headshot that a lot of other creators have nowadays. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a really cool, epic headshot, but I got to do a little bit of research as far as like what kind of shot I like and how I'm going to go about getting it. But the challenge is I'm going to try to get it all with my iPhone. So that's what we're doing. The thing about this headshot is that I really want it to look really sick, really good, really clean, professional, but also I don't want it to be like a cheesy corporate headshot, like, you know, just smile and say cheese at the camera in front of a freaking gray background or whatever. I really want it to stand out. I want it to look really cool. So I'm doing some research and we're trying to figure out what makes these epic and what can I do to make mine just as cool as these shots that I found here. So I found a couple of shots, a couple from Peter McKinnon, this one from Maddie, and then this one from Mark Bone. If you don't know these guys, they have really good channels, really good film photography channels. So yeah, so the thing I'm finding is that they either have like a really sick background or some sort of like nature-y type of background, or buildings or architecture. The background just looks really cool. Whether it's nature, whether it's architecture, whatever, the background looks cool. And then the actual subject, or like to whoever the shot is, so let's say like take this shot here from Peter, the shot is always like kind of dramatic. So whether they're looking into the lens or looking away from the lens, it's always going to be like a dramatic shot. So I don't know how else to describe that. That's just the things that I'm seeing right now from the research that I've been doing. And yeah, so I guess we have my favorite shots here. I'm going to pick a couple. I'm going to try to emulate a couple of these shots out when we test it. So yeah, I guess the only thing that's left to do now is just start shooting. So that's the next part of the video. Oh wait, I probably should do some sort of like cool transition thing. Whatever. All right, so now we just got to think about location. All right, so we got to think about where, or as far as like what I want the background to look like. Do I want it to be like really nature-y? Do I want it to be like go downtown and get some really cool architecture shot in the background or something? So for me personally, I'm going to be choosing like a more of a nature background. It's much easier for me because I have a lot of woods where I am. But for you, maybe you have like a really cool big city. Maybe you live in a big city and go downtown and get a lot of really cool shots that way. That's really cool too. But like I said, I'm just going to do some good old-fashioned nature shots, go in the woods, or see what kind of shots I can get as far as what cool backgrounds might look like. So I got this lawnmower in the background. So I'm gonna select a couple of different spots and then see what we like. I'm doing one shot that's staring straight into the camera, and then I'm doing another shot that's like kind of staring up and away. So I'm gonna get those two shots and then move on to the next spot. All right guys, so we got the next location picked. The other location was just this way. And now this is the next location. So basically it's just this trail, and then we got the sunlight is shining down right through the trees, and there's these nice little touches of sunlight that's on the ground here. So I'm gonna crouch right around here-ish and wait for the sun to come out where it's shining real bright to hopefully get in like a nice sun flare through the lens. And yeah, so this is shot number 2. All right guys, location number 3, and I think I'm gonna make this the last one unless I find another really cool location. But yeah, I like this deep woods kind of vibe. It kind of looks like Jurassic Park or something like that. So I'm gonna try to get a cool looking shot. Maybe I'll move down there where some of this sunshine's coming through, and yeah, use this as my background, get a couple of shots and see how it goes. All right guys, so I just found the perfect spot on my way out of the woods. It's this spot right here, looking down the trail, but it's got this nice, this solar flare coming through. I say solar flare, lens flare coming through, really perfect. And so what I did was I just stood right where, I don't know if you can see it, right there, where right in front of the, basically I stood so that you could see my shadow on this tripod so I could see exactly where my head was covering up the lens, like on the phone. I just used my shadow, so it ended up working perfectly. And the photos from this spot, I think, are my favorite so far. So just goes to show you, keep trying and you will find the perfect spot. You just gotta keep trying. This is literally on my way out of the woods. I was gonna go back and start editing this footage, and I found this spot. So yeah, pretty sick. All right, guys, so we chose a bunch of different locations, got a bunch of different photos, a bunch of different results. So but basically every photo I took up until like the last shots that I took, I kind of hated. So these first shots, I just wasn't feeling anything until I found that last spot right where I showed you that clip just now, where the sunlight was coming in perfect. I could get it framed up nice. I had a nice glow behind me. And so I'm going to pick a couple of my favorite of the photos, my favorite photos from that spot, because that's my favorite spot. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a screen recording real quick and throw it up here or over here or wherever. Yeah, so here's some of the photos that I got, and these ones are my favorites right here. So I got this shot, and then this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, that one. All right, so yeah. So, and I think my favorites are this first shot here. It's a little bit more dramatic. We talked about that before, how like some of the Peter McKinnon headshots are like a little bit more dramatic, whether he's looking in the camera or looking away. They're a little bit more dramatic. They give you more of like a, I don't know, like a serious vibe, but yeah, a little bit more professional and more kind of like an epic looking shot. I think that I like that a lot. So yeah, so then we got like the straight on shot, same thing. So I like this one, and then I like the one where I'm looking straight in the lens. And then I think between these two shots, I like this one here, just because I think it's framed up a little bit better. This one, I feel like my head looks a little bit tiny because the iPhone distortion and all that. And then I do like this shot right here where I'm smiling. I'm probably just not going to use it for my profile pic. So out of this shot, and this shot, I'm thinking I'm going to edit this first one here. This one is probably my favorite. It looks a little bit dramatic, so I can kind of edit it up a little bit to where I desaturate some of it. So final step, we did our research, we picked the location, we got the shots, we picked a favorite photo. Now all we got to do is edit it. So I'm not going to do it on the desktop. I really enjoy editing on Lightroom right on my phone. The mobile version has a lot of features. It's nothing compared to like the extensive like desktop Lightroom version, like the Lightroom Classic. But they brought a lot of really sick features to Lightroom, especially like the mobile platform with the masking and the subject selection and all this different type of stuff. So I'm going to be able to get the exact look I want straight out of Lightroom right off my phone. So I edit like 100% of the time all my photos on my phone. Just makes it easier for me. I can do it anywhere, and it's just super simple. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to send this over to Lightroom, and we're just going to play around a little bit and try to get a good feel of what we want, the direction we want to go. I never do the auto selection. The only thing I do like in particular is basically as far as exposure, I'm going to edit according to the background. So however I want the background to look, to be lit, all the light, the contrast, all that stuff, I'm going to edit for the background first, because later I can go in and mask myself out and just edit myself as the subject. I can brighten myself up, all that stuff, and you'll see here in a second what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna change the exposure a little bit. I'm gonna darken it up a little bit, give him some more contrast boost. We're gonna bring some of these highlights down a bit just to retain some of those details. Shadows, and let's bring a little bit up, okay. Whites, bring those up a little bit, blacks. All right, so already we're looking pretty decent. That's the before, that's the after. That's just the light, right? And you might be thinking to yourself, like, I made myself dark, but like I said, just wait a second, because I'm gonna do some masking stuff here in a bit. All right, so what do we want? Do we wanna go for like a cool, dramatic vibe, warm vibe, like nice, summery, or like a vintage photo? I am going to probably lean a little bit towards the cooler side just for now. We're going to lean over to the magenta side just a little bit to give us a little bit better color, and I think that looks pretty decent. All right, vibrance, we're gonna bring down just a little bit. Saturation, I'm gonna bring down just a touch, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to edit just the greens. So we're gonna go in here to color grading. All right, color. I'm gonna select my greens. And so you can do a couple of different things. You can change the hue, which just means you can actually change like the type of green it is, whether it's like a lime green or like a super faded green. So I can play around here, and I'm gonna fade these down a little bit, kind of desaturate the greens a little bit. And I kind of like that. There we go, luminance. Ooh, all right. Make it blown out or whatever. All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna edit this blue. I'm gonna change the blues a little bit and the purples. All right, here we go. Ooh, that's pretty sick. Okay, I'm gonna lighten that up just a little bit. So that desaturate just a little bit, just to give it the overall like more dramatic feel. Desaturate the colors just a little bit to try to go for this vibe that we're trying to get. All right, so then, oh crap, what did I just do? All right, undo the vibrance. All right, so from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to effects, give it just a tiny touch of texture. We'll see what clarity will work. We're gonna add a little bit of clarity, a little bit of dehaze, and then we're gonna call that good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to masking down here at the bottom left. I'm gonna add a mask, hit select subject. So it's gonna select me, just me, as long as it does it right. And 90%, like, look at that mask, that's amazing. You know how long it would take to do that mask by hand? I mean, my gosh, it even takes all the little spaces out in between my arms and between my legs down there. That's incredible. Anyway, this is part of the reason why I use Lightroom on the phone now, because it's so sick. So now I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna just do it for just me. So like I said before, I was editing more for the background, and now I'm going to be editing just me as a subject. See, now let's go ahead, let's brighten me up. So like, you don't want to go crazy with this stuff. Like, you want to do like minimal touching. And obviously all this stuff is kind of like to taste, but I'm just going to edit this how I would edit it, how I think it looks cool, and as far as like the feel I'm going for and all that stuff, right? So you can kind of push this as far as you want, but I'm going to, so that's where it starts. I'm gonna bring this up just slightly here, all right? We're gonna up the contrast, make it much more dramatic. Boom, add a lot of contrast there. I'll bring these highlights, let's bring these highlights down. All right, bring the shadows back down. So we're lit up, but we're not like too crazy, too over the top here. All right. Now we're gonna go color, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna warm myself up now just a little bit. Partly because I kind of want to stand out from the background a little bit. And I'm going to, all right, just adjust my temperature there. That way I can get a decent looking skin color. Lower the saturation just a tad. And then effects, I'm gonna add a little bit more texture to add some sharpness to the photo. And then clarity, same thing. Boost the clarity a little bit. Dehaze. We'll just leave that. We'll go -3. All right. We're not going to do any of that. All right. So far, that is our photo we got. This is the before, and now that's the after, baby. That's pretty dang good, especially from an iPhone photo. And you can zoom it in here a little bit. I mean, that looks pretty freaking solid. I'm not going to lie. That is pretty amazing. All right. You got a little bit of this halo effect from number one. We got the sun rays behind me, just highlighting because I had the sunlight directly behind my head. And then the photo was in like portrait mode on the phone. So you got some of the software stuff. You get a little bit of the halo effect. But I mean, my gosh, it looks pretty dang amazing. So the only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in another mask, because I kind of want the attention to be drawn up a little bit just as a photo, because as a profile pic, it's going to be more face focused, right? But as a photo itself, I want the focus to be more on the upper, like the top third, I guess, of the photo, because that's where my face is, right? So I'm going to add a mask that is just like this linear gradient. So I'm going to hit linear gradient, I'm going to drag it from the bottom up, and then I'm just going to adjust the exposure so I can actually dim this down a little bit so that it puts a little bit more focus on me. So that's the before, that's the after, and I think that looks pretty dang good. Really, really simple edit, guys, but I think this gives a really good effect. And honestly, I'm really happy with how this shot turned out. I'm gonna use this as my profile pic. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all, you got a problem with well, you have one of the other photos you liked better, whatever your comment is, just leave it down below and I will address it. I answer all my comments, or like 99.9% of them. So yeah, tell me what you guys think about this photo. Do you like it? Do you think it turned out good? And also, if you like this video, if you got something from it, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the different type of stuff. We do 360 videos and camera videos, tech stuff, just all that whole realm. So like I said, guys, if you like this video, please make sure you subscribe, all this stuff. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.